It is time now to answer some of your legal questions, and we turn to attorney Casey Garrett, who's in for Chris Tridico this morning. Welcome.
Thank you, Sally.
For being here.
You bet.
Let's begin with this question first from an anonymous person who writes, I got a new job with a trucking company. They sponsored my CDL training course through a local school. Once I graduated and started with the company, what I was told by recruiters and what actually occurred during training and during my solo driving was not accurate. I ended up leaving after just a few months. When I started, they had me sign a contract agreeing to repay $8,000 for the driving course if I quit before a year. I was told by recruiters the training would be covered by the company. They demanded the $8,000 immediately and have now turned it over to a collection agency. Do I have a remedy for this? Can I fight this at all?
Well, that's a great question, Sally. And certainly there are some legal issues here. If it's not a binding and enforceable contract, then that can be litigated. You can take that to court and try to get out of the contract if it wasn't signed. But this is a little bit more of a moral dilemma, right? You agreed to stay for a year in exchange for the CDL training, and that's not too much for a company to ask. They're investing in you. They want to get a return on their investment. So can you fight it legally? Possibly. You would need to get a lawyer, take it to JP court, make sure you have the final version of the contract. But again, I would look at it from a moral and ethical standard. You owed them a year, and in exchange for that, you might have to pay for the CDL training. So that's up to you. Good luck.
Okay. Our next question comes from Ms. Smith, who writes, I have been living in my apartment for 5 years. My rent was paid in full last month, but there was a late fee. I tried to pay this month, but the manager will not accept my payment without the late fees. This is causing me to have new late fees. They also have failed to fix any requests I asked for regarding repairs. This is a mid-income HUD apartment. I was told they're going to start charging everybody market rate. Can they do this without giving us notice?
So that's a real head scratcher, Sally. I can't imagine a situation where a landlord would refuse to accept rent. If she is trying to give the rent just minus the late fee, they should accept that. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. As far as the late fee is concerned, landlords can impose a late fee. Texas law requires that it be reasonable and generally not more than 10%. If I were you, I would sit down with the landlord and figure this out, because it sounds to me like they might be trying to set up some type of eviction if they're trying to raise rates or raise the, the rental rates, but they are under a contract just like you are with the lease. So I would offer at least the last month's late payment just to kind of settle this, but you're certainly going to need to sit down with the landlord and find out what's going on, because they should be accepting your rent payments for sure.
You're right. Here, take my money.
Exactly.
Who says no to that,
right? Right.
All right, and our final question, Casey, comes from BJ, who writes, I had remodeling done about a year ago. The flooring is now lifting up in some places. I contacted the contractor. He says it is our problem to get it repaired. Should it be our responsibility or the people that laid the flooring? Does the time frame matter here?
It can. It sure can. It depends on what type of warranty the contractor had. So I would recommend that the person look at the contract that they had with their contractor, see if they're responsible for fixing the flooring. Was it a breach of contract? Was it a breach of warranty? You definitely should expect flooring to last more than a year. There's several angles you could take. You could sue them for a breach of all of that. You could go under the Texas Deceptive Trade Practices Act, which does protect consumers from situations like this. But no, I would think that this is their responsibility, either the contractor or the flooring company. So take a look at the contract and try to get to the bottom of that.
All right. Casey Garrett, it's always great to have you in for Chris Tridico. Thank you for being here. And if you have a legal question, just hop on our website, fox26houston.com. You can find Chris's segments under the Morning News tab. And as always, for specific information and advice, contact the attorney of your choice. We will be right back. Go ahead and warm up the coffee, and we'll meet you back here after the break.